He's boring the shit out of you.
Is it safe to say he's distracted to a degree?
I would say he's very distracted.
All right. Karthan's gonna try and steal the paint.
Welcome. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome along to episode 2 of Sogravia, the Last Bastion, with our evil party. A quick recap for last session. Our evil party escaped a boat where they were held prisoner, fled into the forest, got a bit lost, got themselves to the coast, and came upon a farmhouse where they have taken refuge. In the house of the Doolittles, Eliza Doolittle and her husband Graylin are currently sheltering the party. This is the 5 members of the party we had last week, including Dufender, Losk, Tylan, Cinderstorm, Warren Strix, and Vienna Beltor. As we take up with our party, who are currently residing in the wine cellar and resting and having a little chat, really, before they take their night's rest, there is a knock at the door. Graydon opens the door, and before him is a Yuanti. He says, "Well, good evening, Rosalind. What can I do for you?"
I don't think she's back yet.
Oh, she went to sweater, and she's still sweatering. Okay, while we're waiting for...
No, I'm here.
Okay, good evening, Rosalind. What can I do for you? This is Graydon
Good
speaking.
evening. Hello. It's so nice to see you again, my friend.
Yes, likewise.
Here's the thing. I know this might be difficult, but I need to get back into town.
Again?
Yes.
Well, more difficult than you might realize. You see, we have a group that we're taking into town tomorrow. If you're happy to bunk in with them and get to know them, then...
Really?
6'5", what's the difference? Why not? Did you want some of Eliza's stew while you're down there?
Oh, that would be lovely. Please, yes.
Come on in. And he gestures to you to come through the door. As he walks you through the kitchen, Eliza sort of looks up. Oh, Rosalind, again.
Oh, good to
Back to
see you,
town
darling.
tomorrow by any chance?
Yes, I am, yes. Well, hopefully.
Hopefully, well.
I've been kicked out again.
Oh dear. Well, never mind. I won't ask. You'll find some like-minded friends down in the wine cellar. They're a little hot, so the guards might pop by during the night, but don't worry, as per usual. Rug will be over the floor trap, and nobody will know the wiser. If you'd like to head on down, I'll bring down some stew in a moment, my love.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Graylin opens up, pulls the rug away, and opens up the trap door for you, and you head down, and you are greeted by 5 fellow adventurers.
Why, hello.
I look up, recognizing the voice. I kind of look over to her, and I squint. I feel like I recognize her.
Hold on just a moment. Is that? Are you the son of Shimokobe, the Silk Lord that I met 4 years ago? 5? No, you look so much older now. What was your name again?
I stand up. Oh, Rosalind Sachs, is that you?
That is indeed. Oh, such a small world.
I go by Losk now. It's so nice to see a friendly face. I'll never forget what you've done for my father.
Oh, he was a kind man. A very rich man.
Are we in the basement right now?
You're all sat in the wine cellar. It's fairly spacious. It is obviously regularly used to shelter criminals, as there are a few bedrolls laid about, sort of a little warming fire that is down by the window where there's a small slat. It's only small, and it's in a sort of iron stove. It's dimly lit by torchlight around, and there are a couple of wine casks, but more specifically there are a table, a few chairs. This is clearly a regular operation for Eliza and her husband.
Just stand up next to Rosalind. Oh, sorry.
It's lovely to see you again. What on earth could have brought you to such a place like this?
Well, oh, sorry.
Yep, Talon, go on.
Yeah, I would like to look and see if I recognize any symbols, or if I recognize the name that Rosalind...
Start with a perception check. Sorry?
I'm looking.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I heard a number.
That is a 23. Oh,
It
no.
is fair to say, if she has a small initial inscribed on her back thigh, you'd be able to see it with your excellent eyes. So yes, anything you may see that you would recognize, you do recognize.
Would this be a well-known family that I should know of or heard of?
I'll leave that for Rosalind to answer.
Not at all. No, but you might have heard of my name. Not a family of any kind, but you might have heard of the Golden Dam.
So you may know of Rosalind Sachs as a captain of a boat, but that would be as much information as you had.
Not Rosalind's name.
No.
Losk.
Oh,
Oh, Losk,
Got it.
sorry.
The noble.
Right, okay. My apologies. Losk, do you wear any symbol on you of your family or your family's name?
On these clothes that I said that I stole.
Yes.
On my hat, there's my family's kimono, which is a Japanese family crest of the Shimokobas.
So, yes, if you would recognize that as part of the family symbol. Your family is quite well known, Losk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dominated the silk trade.
In that case, Tylon, you would indeed recognize this. However, you probably would have recognized this in the last 24 hours you spent with Losk. Not
Yeah, I
at this
wouldn't have been
particular
paying
moment.
that much attention. We've been
Right,
running and
okay.
fighting.
Right, okay, so at this moment, while you're all set down, you have now recognized said symbol. Okay, yep, sure.
What time of
Okay.
day is this?
What time of day is it? It's currently 7:38 p.m.
Evening.
I got the
Evening, yes,
It's
p.m.
Shimakoba. Is that how you say it?
Shimokobe.
Makobe.
Obey.
But
See if I don't
I'm
butcher that shit in a second.
A lovely family.
I'm gonna stand up
Oh.
next to Rosalind. I'm gonna say, everyone, this is Rosalind Sachs. She's a old family friend.
Yes, this is me.
Why are you here?
Oh well, see, I've found myself in a little bit of trouble. No reason to get into the details, but I do need to get into the town of
Karthan.
Karthan. Rather quickly if I can.
Yes, but why are you here? Am I missing
well-
something?
Well, I seem to have found myself a little bit kicked out of the town.
While this conversation is going on, Tylon is standing up and beginning to load his bow and point it at Losk.
Do I notice this?
Oh, I think everybody's noticing this.
Okay.
Unless you are attempting to be stealthy about this.
Nope, not at all.
I didn't think so. Yes, every one of you would have noticed this.
You're
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 what's going on
noble?
there? Oh, hey, all right.
and you didn't tell me?
Okay.
Wait,
all
I'm
right.
sorry, what did you say?
And you didn't tell me?
You're noble,
You're
and you
noble and
didn't
you
tell me.
didn't tell me.
I don't. Well, my family disowned me, so I wouldn't necessarily call myself a noble. So why would I need to tell anybody of my social status to begin with?
Once a noble, always a noble.
All right.
I would like to go up to Tylon and just start putting his crossbow down.
How resistant are you being, Tylon?
Nope. Completely resist.
Okay, are you going to attempt
My
to use
strength
force
check
at this point, Fiona?
No, I'll just start standing in front of Losk.
Okay. Sorry, who was about to speak to sort of calm the situation, I think?
I'm gonna go up and talk to him, and I'll say, right, what's going on there, dear? Is something? Do you know this young man as well?
That's at you.
Who are you talking to?
That she's
Yes,
speaking to
it's
Tylon
him.
regarding, do you know Losk? So Tylon, that
Because
would
if
be
you
you're
don't, I can
addressed.
tell you with much certainty that he's a good man and very trustworthy and that
No
none of this
nobles
is
are
necessary.
trustworthy.
All right, dear, I understand that. However, don't
Care
we
for
have
no one but
common goals
themselves.
here? We have a common goal here, darling. We're all trying to get into the town.
Rosalind, would you make a persuasion check, please?
All right, don't fail me now. Okay. That's gonna be a 13. That's gonna be a 24. No, 22.
So at this point, Talon, she's addressing you in very calming tones. She's sort of very much guiding you towards certain actions. It is up to you how you respond.
Can I? Is there anything I need to roll against this?
Nope. It is up to you how persuaded you feel by said action. But she is clearly being very persuasive.
Okay. So, what reason do I have to trust you or anyone here? I just met you all.
No reason to trust us, but there's a good reason not to cause a ruckus.
I have no good reasons not to cause a ruckus.
All right. How about we
left to live for?
How about we all calm down for now? Let us take a seat. I feel like everybody's a little high-strung here. Let us introduce ourselves a little bit more.
Vienna, can you also make a persuasion check, please?
Sure. Sorry, off the wall? Persuasion, right?
Yep.
Hey, +0. 18.
This is, not quite as charming as Rosalind was, but he's still, fairly persuasive, fairly encouraging. This is, tones that would not be riling. Again, I'll leave it to you to decide how you respond, Talon.
Let us not fight about. We've only just met each other and we already formed a party. Let us talk things out. Put the crossbow down, please.
For now, you best watch your back.
I do have a question. What makes you... I mean, it's understandable if you don't trust me. But you have everybody else in this party deserves to be trusted. They saved your life after all.
If I do recall, I'm the one who broke us out first. No one saved me.
Sounds like you've all been through an ordeal.
If I do remember, I gave you the tools to break out. So let's not start this, who did this, who did that. First of all, let's calm and let's talk it rationally.
And on top of that, we were on a ship as prisoner. What makes that trustworthy?
Brothers in crime?
At this point, the trapdoor creaks open and Eliza looks down and goes, I do hope I'm not interrupting, and sort of very tentatively hands Rosalind a bowl of stew and just scurries off, closing the door behind her.
Nothing heals like a good meal.
And a nap.
Didn't we eat food already?
They all ate, but Rosalind did not, since she's just been handed some stew. The remnants of the meal that you've all eaten, she has put into a stew and brought Rosalind a bowl, which she offered on the way in. So yes, you've all eaten.
I would like to sit down and actually eat some food because I haven't eaten it in like a whole day.
Okay, you didn't partake in the meal. Do you have the food?
Nope.
Do you have food on you?
From what I understood, we had some rations.
You recovered some rations from the boat.
Some salty rations.
Yeah. Sort of dry meat, dry fruit, maybe a little bit of cheese.
Is the stew good? Does it smell good?
She's a fantastic farmhand. This is, a beautiful rabbit stew, sort of Eliza's own coney stew, if you will. There's potatoes, there's vegetables, there's various herbs and spices. The smells coming up would be quite wonderful to all of you in the room. Quite a little bit calming, if you like, as well.
While she was in there, could I have asked for ale?
I think, if you had said to her, hey, can I have an ale? She probably would have, yep, not a problem, and then sort of scurried off quietly.
Thank you so much, love.
Okay. So
I'll have my meal.
Mm-hmm. She returns very shortly with, a tankard of ale, hands it to you, and then says, well, we're going to head to bed for the evening, so she sort of looks around at the lot of you and sort of goes, Do keep it calm. Graylin will be down in the morning. And then she shuts the trapdoor, and you hear the sounds of, you know, not a lock as such, but like an object being moved onto the top of the trapdoor, and then the rug over the top of that. So you hear sort of like noises of the trapdoor being sealed shut, effectively.
Good.
Okay.
Just a few things I'd like to do while that's going on. I'd like to summon my familiar.
This would be. Where are you summoning it? Because you're in a relatively small wine cellar, right? And it's a 4-foot spider.
On the ceiling.
Oh, you get brilliant. Okay, yep, fantastic.
Yes.
Said spider appears on the ceiling, upside down.
There is a 4-foot spider in the ceiling, in case everybody's a little scared. The spider will just basically lay a web, maybe like take 10 minutes around the trapdoor, and any exit it will really find, and then it will just stay there.
Yep. Okay.
For the night.
Standing guard, effectively.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. You were gonna say?
Sorry. I wanted to do this last session.
That's fine.
Could I still like talk to Eliza before she had left?
It's fair to say at this point she sort of greeted you good night, but you will see her in the morning.
Okay.
Or you would assume. Yes, they sort of retired for an early evening. It's fair to say you guys are left to your own devices for the next few hours.
All right. Before we all go to rest, who are you? And I'm gonna point at what's her name, Rosalind?
Rosalind. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I'll also do a little bit of prestidigitation to chill her ale.
Oh,
At the same time.
thank you. Rosalind Sachs. It's a pleasure.
And how do you know
Losk.
these?
Just Losk.
Yeah,
Oh,
Losk.
She knows it.
Losk?
Yep.
Oh, Losk and I, well, I don't really know Losk very well. I'm much more acquainted with her father. I did a trade with him once upon a time.
I see.
I admire Rosalind. You see, at the time, my father was, well, he still is dominating the silk trade, but he needed help with his merchant ships, and she helped him without pillaging his ship. Very trustworthy.
Oh well. I'm not mindlessly violent.
Speaking of mindlessly violence, Tylen, why have you tried to attack?
Your classic segue. Speaking of minus violence, Tylon.
Why did you try to attack Losk?
Did you not listen when I told you my hatred for noble?
Also,
Well-
we have strategically sat so that they are on opposite sides of the room.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you care about nobility, or that is now, or what was once was? Because if she was a prisoner, I doubt she's a noble now.
As I said, once a noble, always a noble.
Once a
Alright.
mindless
They care
fiend,
not for
always a
anyone
mindless
but
fiend.
themselves.
Well,
They take everything from the lower class and those they deem unworthy.
Oh, well.
Well, let me start off then. My name is Venan Beltar of the Beltar family, or at least what was once the House of Beltar. I am also a noble.
Great, 2 people to kill. Awesome.
Our nobility is different from your surface world nobility. So, whatever your, what do you call it? Fuck. Whatever your problem is with them, it is a completely different class there. So, before that,
Well,
if we were to
it's your
trust each
problem
other,
now, sir.
if we were to trust each other, I would honestly suggest that we do not try to kill each other. Once
I never
again,
suggested you trust me.
well, have you agreed to the rules? No betrayal, and no leaving a man behind?
Agreed to nothing.
Then why are you here?
We were on the same ship.
Yes, and we escaped together.
There
And
wasn't
that
very many places to go either while we were running from the guard.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was under the impression that everybody here was trying to get to the same place.
I have no particular agenda to take care of. I don't even
There's
want
not
to still be
even one
alive.
I do
care not.
apologize. what place were we trying to go?
Karthan.
I do not know this region very well.
Karthan. That's what friggin' what's her face told me.
Eliza and Graham?
That yes, that's what Eliza had told me. That you all were on your way to Karthan.
Is there something in Karthan that we should do?
Well, we should get to a
Ellie?
town, and that's the closest town.
I agree. Is there anything particular you need to do in Karthan?
Sorry, who
Well,
go on, carry on,
What
Rosalind.
happened?
I was going to ask who you were speaking to, but Rosalind seems to know even if I don't. Carry on, Rosalind.
Yeah.
My mistake.
just some business to attend to. I prefer not to discuss such things at dinner.
Dinner. This is late evening now.
It's her dinner.
I'm eating my
she's stewing and she's stewing and beering. And the poor girl's on a long walk. Leave her alone.
In any case, I will get to the town, and I would like to take all of you with me. Stronger in numbers, like Defender said.
Can I just point out at this point, some of you may want to introduce yourselves to Rosalind. She has currently interacted with Losk, Rhiannon, and Tylon, but Defender and Strix may wish to introduce yourselves.
I will walk over and reach out my hand. Hello,
Shake.
my name is Strix. You seem to have history with this farm. Are they trustworthy people?
Oh, very much so. Yes, they're very kind. A bit gullible.
That sounds like ideal for our case.
And Defender, did you want to introduce yourself?
Might as well. I'm Defender. People call me Fen.
Nice to meet you.
At this
Is
point,
that all?
yeah. At this point, the aroma of this stew as you finish it up is settling into the room. The fire in the stove is beginning to die down a little bit, and whereas previously there was some light filtering through the slat on the wall, now there is not. The sun has set. Consider it 9:30.
Okay, I guess we're going to bed, right?
My
Hopefully
mommy
we can
said
keep
it's
the
bedtime.
house.
Well, before we go
Hopefully.
to bed, I just want to know what everybody wants to do tomorrow. Are we going to Karthan?
Yes.
And what will we do there?
Get
Is there
cleaned
not
up.
someone in a tavern we should find that will help us scout the country or something?
I mean, the story, the man told us that we could find someone, but I don't know how much I can trust this man.
Why would we need to do that? We just need to get to a town and basically recollect ourselves after such a traumatizing day.
Well, what are your goals in the future then? Is my question. If we are to form a party, once again, what do you guys want to do? We go to Karthan tomorrow. What are we gonna do there?
Well, I plan on getting some money.
That's all good.
There is an item that I am looking out for.
And what is this item?
I prefer not to say for now. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
All right. Well, if everybody wants to go to Karthan, I'll come with. We'll see where the journey takes us.
Exciting.
Are you all sort of taking rest at this moment? Consider this a long rest, and any benefits of a long rest apply. Give me 2 seconds. So whether you then continue, just when you do get to resting, consider it a long rest. Any benefits of a long rest apply. Should anybody wish to re-prep certain spells in the wizardly kinds, you're more than welcome to do so. Sorry, Talon, you were going to say?
We've passed the night.
Okay. Not quite. You hear a loud banging on the door outside the slat that you have on the wall. It is loud enough to wake all but the heaviest of sleepers. And you hear, Karthan guard, open up, Eliza.
Shit!
The door
Hush.
after a short while of this banging going on. Liza, we have reason to believe that you're sheltering a certain wanted criminal. Any chance we could take a look around? You hear Eliza,
I'm hiding somewhere. I'm hiding.
you hear Eliza respond quite calmly. She says, "Us shelter criminals? What do you take me for? We're honest businessmen. Come in then. There's some stew over there if you'd like it. I can make you a cup of tea. By all means, take a look around. Wake up my children. Wake up my husband. Don't worry, it's not like we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day for work. Just, poke about, rattle about in your heavy metal boots, drink all my tea, eat all my stew, and then bugger off, will you?" The guard starts, you can hear the pacing right over the top of your trap door as he obviously is wandering around the kitchen. And then you hear the walking saunter off. There's a bit of chatter going on between the guards, but it's fair to say that they're very casual and don't seem particularly interested in finding anyone. This is something they've been told to do, and they clearly pop by Rosalind's for the stew, not because she harbors criminals. So you hear them eating, drinking, taking their time. It's fair to say if you're not particularly tense, you would be able to go back to sleep. And eventually you hear them sort of, "Well, thanks very much, Eliza. I'm sorry to bother you again. You know how it is. Rules are rules, instructions are instructions." And the door closes and they've clearly gone out. And shortly afterwards, anybody awake would hear Eliza just lean down to the door and go, "All clear. Good night. See you in the morning." And then you hear her footsteps retreat. At this point, the rest of the night would pass, unless you wish to discuss anything.
Something people are sleeping. As I only need to be asleep for 4 hours.
Okay. So at this point in time,
Same.
you find yourself awake. But yes, it is fair to say that right now it is the middle of the night, say 2:30 a.m.
I'd also willing to say that I didn't wake from them being there because the way I sleep isn't sleeping.
No, of course, this is, particular to said race, but in general, anybody who would be full sleeping has been full sleeping at some point, for the benefits of, restoring health,
Alrighty,
etc.
So, what I'm doing after 4 hours, I am going to get up, stealthily go over.
Oh my god.
Make a stealth check, please. Also, just a heads up, I'm not sure who it is, but your typing's coming through the microphone. You may want to mute your microphone when you type.
Sorry.
That's all right. I didn't know who it was. I just knew that I could hear the typing. Yep, stealth check, please, Tylon.
No fucking way. This is the time I do this.
You've rolled on that one.
This is the time I rolled a 1.
What does that add up to?
I got a 10.
I mean, 10's pretty good for sleeping people. It is fair to say...
everybody's
Sorry, bear with me a
passing
second, please. Bear with me a second, please. I think it's...
DM?
Yes.
I'm not asleep because I only sleep
No, I know.
4
Bear with
hours.
me a second, that's what I said. It is fair to say that anybody of elvish ilk would be awoken if you walked near them. It is very dark down here. However, one of your party can see in the dark.
And also, I have a spider that webbed up the entire ceiling, so if you do touch the webs, I exactly know where you are, so...
Okay. Tylon, proceed for now.
I've walked up.
I'm sorry, you cut out there.
Lask.
You woke up to?
Said, I've walked up to Lask,
Okay.
and I'm staring at her, and I'm gonna assume, correct, that Rosalind has slept somewhere close.
Mm-hmm.
Lask.
Yep.
It's fair to say at this point, Viennan would be aware of your movements. Observing quietly, perhaps, but aware of your movements.
Hey, Talon. I do not believe it is a good idea to off a party member. Wait a little.
Quiet.
What?
Quiet.
Be quiet. Well, know this. She has my protection for now. So if you do try to kill her, I will protect her.
Fantastic. 2 for 1 then. As I'm prepping my bow, I asked about if Rosalind was next.
Yeah, Rosalind is next to.
How well can I see Rosalind?
How well can you see in general? That is probably my first question. This is
Yeah.
the middle of the night. How is your dark vision?
I have dark. don't think I do.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I've been looking.
I can
Don't
tell you
think
in
I
2
am
seconds.
dark
Let me just have a look. Tylon Cinderstorm.
No dark vision.
No dark
I didn't
vision.
think I did.
Um,
Awesome. Yeah, fine.
It
Keep in
is-
mind that this attack is a disadvantage.
it's dimly lit. You would know who was next to her. But it would be very difficult to make out very specific details.
Fantastic. That's exactly what I needed you to do to me.
You're the one who's decided to
As
sneak
I-
up and murder a party member in the dark. Sorry, don't blame me, Mr. 10 stealth roll.
Play out so you understand.
Progress.
Seeing that, I'm gonna stop as I'm looking at Rosalind instead of shooting Laskin. I'm gonna pull out my locket. I'm gonna open my locket and look at a picture of Lena, my wife, and kind of look in belief at Rosalind, as if she looks almost like she's back again.
Perhaps the pose of her sleeping is one that you would reminisce about. Perhaps remember from a more closer angle. And has stirred this memory. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And instead of doing anything, I'm just gonna go back to my corner where I was and sit there and get my locket the rest of the night while everyone's sleeping.
Okay. The rest of the night passes. It is now 6 o'clock in the morning, and a solid thump on the top of your trap door comes across, and you hear Graylan shouting down, "Eliza's just preparing breakfast, and then we need to be off within 35 minutes. Wakey, eggs and bakey."
Oh, lovely.
The door's clear when you're ready, just push.
Yep. I'll go ahead and do that. Sorry.
You can't quite do it yet.
Go ahead.
Viennan.
I will unsummon my familiar.
And the web is removed by this?
No,
Oh,
it's still there.
okay.
You'll have to cut it down. It might be a little strong, so you might have to use a little bit more force to it, but you should be able to do it.
Oh, well, I'm not doing that.
Rosalind, what are you wielding to do this?
Oh, I wasn't gonna cut down a spider web.
Oh, sorry. Who was it who said they were going to cut it down? Or was that Viennan who's going to cut it down?
I'll cut it down.
Okay.
I know my spider well enough.
Yeah, it's fair to say you would know exactly how to best remove the web. Once you've cleared it, the trapdoor is now available for the opening.
You want to do something, Lost?
Yeah, thank you. So, I'm gonna make my way out to Eliza.
So as you rise up from the stairs, Eliza sort of is there making breakfast, and at the moment you two have the room to yourselves.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did you sleep all right?
Yes, I did. I must thank you so much. But regarding getting into town,
Yes?
I do understand that it would be difficult with 6 people. However, I was actually wondering if you had a dress that I could wear.
She sizes you up and looks at you a little strangely, and then holds up a finger and says, "Once I've got the breakfast on the table, love, do you want anybody else to see this, or do you want me to call you up?"
I don't really mind. I just believe that it would be easier as a disguise if, they're looking
Oh,
for the
okay,
wrong
understood.
gender.
Well, I mean, we were happy to disguise you, so not a problem. I'll get the breakfast on the table, and then I'll take you up to have a little browse.
All right, thank you.
Okay, at this point, the rest of you would come up through the trap door, any of you who are coming up, to the smells of bacon and egg and sausages and all sorts of various breakfasts. There's some pastries, some fruits. The table is near piled with food. And at this point, Graylan, her husband, has come down and sort of taken a handful of bread, and he's currently eating it on his way out to the cart where he's making preparations. The door is open, and you can see him prepping the wagon outside. Yeah.
Lovely. I'll try to get Tylon in a little bit of a quiet corner, and speak softly, not trying to like not publicize the conversation, right? And Rosalind will say, enough of the murderous rampage then? Seems everyone's made it out of the night alive.
Tylon just kind of staring off into nowhere. And I just snap at him and like, whoa, what? Huh? What happened?
Nani?
Sorry,
I just
could
wanted
you
to say
repeat yourself?
I'm just happy to see everybody alive today. I thank you for that. I've never trusted nobles much myself, but you'll find that they can be quite useful.
I'm still just kind of staring in awe at her because I'm stupid. My character's stupid.
Okay. At this point, breakfast is now fully laid, and Eliza gestures towards Losk, saying, "Come upstairs, darling." She leads you up the stairs to what is effectively her bedroom and her closet, and she opens it wide, where you find a large selection of sort of very much farm girl dresses. These are sort of mid-knee and a little voluptuous for you and a little large, but she sort of hands you some sashes to tie them in with, and you could choose almost any color in the rainbow and it would be present. She sort of...
Are there any dresses that you perhaps don't want? Or
Oh,
need?
darling, you take whichever one you need. Whichever one you need. I'm going to leave you to have a little browse, and I'm going to pop downstairs and make sure everybody's all right with breakfast. And she sort of heads out the door and leaves you to browse at your pleasure.
Okay. I'm gonna take not really like a kind of a nicer one, not necessarily work, but more like casual for like going out. But yeah, I'm gonna put that on, and then I'm going to change my form into Eliza.
Oh dear. Okay. Are you then going to descend the stairs?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, just descend the stairs. Obviously, as you descend the stairs, you are looking like Eliza. Eliza has also just come down the stairs, so the party would have seen Eliza, who's now in the kitchen, and are now seeing you.
Good morning. That's my best
Wait.
Eliza impression.
So are there two Elizas in the room now?
No, Eliza 1 has walked into the kitchen, and Eliza 2 has just arrived in your room where you're sitting. But you saw Eliza 1 walk past, and now Eliza 2 has descended.
I will go up to Eliza 1. I don't know which one looks real.
They both look real, but one of them is in the room with you and one's not.
Okay. Are there a lot of trees in the woods over here? Are there plants?
Yeah?
Okay. What time are you leaving?
Sorry, you're asking Eliza this.
Yes.
Right,
First
okay.
one.
That is you, Losk.
He said Eliza 1.
Eliza 1 is in the kitchen. Have you moved to the other room to ask?
I'm just asking any Eliza I see.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I see
Losk, this will be
Eliza.
you.
I take it that this form is convincing.
What do they hear when you speak? Is this your voice specifically, or Eliza's?
This is my Eliza impression.
So it's very similar. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So yeah, you're hearing what is nearly Eliza's voice, or close enough to that you wouldn't really know the difference. Vienna, that is.
Okay. Well, what time are we leaving by?
I don't know. Why don't you go ask... What was the guy's name?
Graylin.
Graylin.
I'll go ask Graylin the same
Okay.
question.
As you head out the front door, you see Graylin laying on large canvases over what appears to be a very, very large cart. And he turns to you and sort of, good morning.
Good morning. What time are we leaving?
You got about 15 minutes till we're on the road.
Okay. I will look around the area and try to find any sort of plants that could be special enough, just for alchemy sake. And that's about
Okay,
it.
you're currently in their crop yard. I think if you were to take one of their plants, they might be a little.
Oh,
Yes.
There's no woods area there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to run, but sure. It's a fairly large farmyard. But if you're willing to get your dash on, just outside of the fancy area, there would be sort of grass. There's maybe a few dandelions, daisies, etc. lying around. Nothing particularly special, but, you know, there's a few interesting plants and whatnot.
I didn't know it was that big, so I'm just gonna sit 15 minutes out.
Okay.
Try to help Raylan in any way possible.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, he sort of asks you to grab hold of one end of the canvas as he's laying it over, and he explains that as they open the first canvas, what they see is the card as you see it, and then he shows you that inside the card, which is very high up, there is actually a second section where each one of you could lie side by side. Unfortunately, it seems like he'll only fit 4 in, and he says, "Don't worry, I've got an idea for the other 3, provided they're willing." And then he shows you that there are rafters at the top of the caravan above which a dexterous person could hold themselves in place, and he reveals that a sheet can be pulled just under the top of the cart so that all of you would be well hidden. And let's resume with Eliza Losk in the dining room with the rest of the party. At this point, Eliza, the actual Eliza, walks in and sort of looks at you wearing her dress and goes, "Oh my, that is quite some magic."
I hope you don't mind if I take this form. I do believe it would be easier for at least the rest of the party to get in.
Well, I mean, that's one way for me to do something exciting. You can do it as me. Please try not to kill anyone. I'd really struggle if they came and arrested me at my home. But yeah, I think that's quite exciting,
no,
isn't
please.
it?
You've been so kind to us. Trust me, I won't do anything.
Oh, bless you, love. But if you manage to have a bit of a fraternization with any wondrous men, then please go ahead, use it. I can imagine that would be quite exciting down the line.
Oh my god.
I mean, you were wearing her body. She's got to respond somehow, isn't she? Yeah, so at this point, breakfast is finishing up. You all feel like you've had a nice hearty meal. And Graydon calls from the door. "If you'd like to come out, guys, I'll show you how we'll fit you all in. It's going to be a bit of a squeeze, but we don't normally run 6 at a time. Rosalind, as you know, your normal spot up," and then she points to the area up above where the rafters were at the top of the caravan. "Your normal spot's up there, but you'll have to share it today, I'm afraid. If we can get 2 of you up there and the other 4 in here," and he shows the sort of area, and then he sort of looks at Defender and goes, "Perhaps 3 up, 3 down might be a better idea."
I mean, I think 4 down, 2 up. It's fine.
I'm really sorry, I had some internet delay there. Lost, what was that?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna let Graylan know that I am not, in fact, his wife.
At this point, he hasn't actually noticed you coming out with the rest of the bustle.
Okay,
He just sees a group coming out. But if you want to approach him and sort of warn him...
Yeah, I will.
Yep, so he sort of looks at you and... "Oh, coming for the ride, are you, darling?"
Oh, I'm actually Lusk. I hope you don't mind, but I asked permission from your wife. She's allowing me to take this form. I just thought it would be easier to smuggle in, let's say, 5 people as opposed to 6.
For the love of God, what is my wife getting me into? All right, jump up front. Well, that will make it easier. 2 up, 3 down.
All right.
For terms of putting us in here, I am considered a small creature.
Yes, Defender is not. If you'd like to, whoever is most athletic and acrobatic would like to join Rosalind in the upper rafters.
Wow, this is going to be fucking great. I have a 20 Dexter. I will join.
Okay, Tylon climbs up, leaving Defender awkwardly flanked by Strix and Vienna in the lay-down section, at which point he slots a piece of wood over you and sort of leans down, and you hear this muffled voice going, "Don't worry, you'll be able to breathe. There's air slots in the side." And you can sort of, as you look down, you can actually see the ground beneath you through the slats in the underside of the wagon. Those of you in the top, he then pulls the curtain aside and you can look out either side. Rosalind, you would have been subjected to this before and are quite used to it. And Loskew, hop up front, and he sort of looks at you very disconcerted and he says, "If you wouldn't mind, could we not have a conversation? This is far too strange."
Oh, but I want to listen
No,
to this,
sorry, this
please.
is Graylan to Losk saying...
I know I want it, and I'm chiming in.
Oh, right, okay, because you guys can hear. Yep, okay. But he says to Losk, if you'd really mind,
You could tell.
I'd really rather not have a conversation with you in this form.
Don't worry, this is just to get us in.
Yes, okay, well, the voice is incredibly convincing, and he looks back at the kitchen door where, at the door to the house where Eliza, his actual wife, is standing, and he just sort of sighs and waves his hands in sort of gesture of shit. He's just given up on everything. And then he sort of snaps the reins, and the two horses begin to take you down the road, where you progress towards Karthan. It is a short journey, say 15 minutes, but 15 minutes is a little longer when you're strapped to the side of a knoll in the bottom of a cart. So, you'd all be jolted and jilted around, but you'd be able to talk quietly amongst yourselves, and the journey progresses.
Defender, is that a torch, or are you just excited to see me?
Oh, wouldn't you like
Then I will let you answer that question.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I'd like to know.
So as the cart rattles along, Graylin calls back, right, it's time to keep the noise down. We're just approaching town. As you were looking, Lusk, you would see the large town of Karthan approach. You come down a rickety grass path, and before you rises a majestic tower, surrounded by a... Sorry. Thank you very much for the raid, Steve. I appreciate it. You see a large tower of majestic architecture surrounded by what is a fairly large walled-in town. Some of you would have been into Karthan, some of you would have been near Karthan, some of you would have seen it from a distance, but the Tower of the Magus Arcane is renowned across the land for its beauty and its structural integrity. The town backs onto the sea, and you would smell the sea air sort of floating in amongst the smells of fish and meat and, all that sort of... towny smells. There's a lot of noise going on, and the guards greet Graylin by name. Graylin, coming in to go and see Greeley, are you? And Graylin, yep, we are. Do you need to check the cart? And the guard sort of lifts the cloth of the cart sort of 3 inches and goes, consider it checked, head on in. And the town gates open up wide, and you see before you, what happened there? We just did something really exciting.
I can see how they get people in all the time.
Before you, the town opens up, Loska, it is only yourself who will be able to see this. And as the cart progresses down the central passageway, you pass market stalls on your left and right, stables on your right. Quite a majestic building directly in front, and the cart swings around a left and pulls up to a small building. And you hear Graydon saying, Greedy, I'll meet you out the front. And he parks the cart around the back, and then he sort of leans in and goes, now's your time, make your exit. And he pulls back the canvas and the slat, allowing you all to exit. It's fair to say Greedy Coombs himself wouldn't have seen you, Losk, as Eliza. So, he won't be expecting you to come out the front.
I guess I'll just hop off and slip behind the cart to stay out of sight and, go be with the rest of the party.
Yep, so at this point you will have all exited. You find yourself at the back of Greedy Coombs' store, sort of very, very sandwiched between 2 stores. For the sake of help, I will place your party counter just about there. There we go. So that shows you roughly where you are in the town. You are in what is the Merchant's District. There is the back of another store directly between, and then up and down there is a back of a store. But you would be able to sort of sneak out between the 2 stores to come into the main street. And that is where you are.
I will put on my cloak.
Okay, this is your forester's cloak that sort of hides your race, if you like.
Sure.
Losk, are you maintaining the form of Eliza at this point?
No, I'm reverting.
Okay.
But I'm still wearing her clothes.
Yes,
as far as I know.
You're reverting to Losk the male, but wearing the dress.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna get some stairs.
As a changeling, he doesn't have very strong features.
Okay, so you're quite
male or female.
Yes, right. Okay, so you're quite androgynous.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's fair to say that your party is all looking normal enough that you would be passed by in the light of the day as you come onto the street, slightly between the two buildings. There are wagons passing. You see the tower of the Magus. You see the tower of the Magus Arcane rising up to your left. Some small buildings surround it, and you find yourself on a merchanty street with fairly, various stores with different name tags on the top. As you will.
Right. What do we do now?
I love wearing a dress. I could feel the wind between my legs.
I didn't need to know that.
We should see what they're selling around.
See what they're selling.
This being the store that you're next to?
Stores around. Yeah, what are the shops and stalls that are around?
Okay, so you are currently standing in front of Greedy Coombs' General Goods. As you look around, you would see just either side. I've realized that I'm the only one who doesn't have the map in full size, so I can't see it. Just bear with me a second while I pull it up, and I will be able to give you more detail.
There's outfitters, an alchemist, blacksmith, a spell store.
So right now, what you would see is the to your right there would be a spell store, and you currently see the general store, and behind you would see the temple, or rather in front of you would see the temple, and behind you are those two stores. But as you look down to the left, it is clear that there are more stores as you go along. It's fair to say, Rosalind, you'd know these stores. So you'd have Greedy Combs' general store, you'd have Fire and Tongs, the blacksmith, you'd have Bellathor's outfitters, you'd have Alania's spell store of sorcery and spellcraft, you've had the alchemist's hip flask, Ithilion's emporium of the mystical and magical, Grundy's Fletchers, and the feeding trough, the provisioners, well within your range.
Is there anybody I'm good buddies with or don't like so much?
As far as the stores are concerned, you are one to be not avoided, but they're not the shadiest of stores. They're quite well to do. These are perhaps the places you wouldn't make your less known trades, but it's fair to say you would have grabbed some food down at the feeding trough, which is a part restaurant, part store. And you'd know all of these stores by name, but perhaps they wouldn't know you by name. I don't know if you'd introduce yourself by name to each of them. So yeah, that's sort of up to you guys.
Alchemy store sounds interesting. We probably want some healing potions, right?
For your reference, people, I have put in the standard channel the document of all the different stores lists. So as you walk in, you will be able to see what is on sale.
Where is that?
In your regular channel chat.
Oh, channel chat. Okay, thank you. Okay.
As you are standing in the open, sort of hanging about and discussing, a small halfling sort of nips past, and you feel a snick at the back of your leg, Vienna, and take 2 piercing damage. You seem to have a knack for getting hit by the daggers.
You got shanked.
This halfling sort of disappears so quickly that it is almost impossible to know in which direction he has ran. But consider yourself stabbed nonetheless.
The hell was that? Okay, I do have a question for all of you. Do you guys want to... Is there any way to get quests, at least affiliated with this town a little more? I do not hail from here, so I do not know.
Well, the place where you eat?
The feeding trough is sort of just more of a restaurant-y place. There is a tavern shortly up to the right where you'd be able to get your standard knowledge. And Rosalind, you would most definitely be familiar with Slink's Paradise, which is a far shadier outlet in the more housing district closer to the docks, where you'd meet the shadier types, and they might perhaps be able to hook you up with a quest or two.
Yes. What was it called? Slink's
Paradise.
Yes, Slink's Paradise always has some fun to do.
if
Social
everybody's
anxiety.
up for that, we can go there.
So this would involve heading directly past two stores, being the Athelian's mystical emporium of the magical and wondrous, and Grundy's Fletcher's, your standard sort of arrow store and bowyer. And that is the way you'd be walking.
I have social anxiety. Does somebody want to come with me to the Outfitters?
I can come if you'd like.
Okay.
And
Sounds
then
like we're all going.
Sorry, Rosalind, what were you saying?
I thought we were going to Slink's Paradise. Are we going to the Outfitters?
Oh, I wanted to just do a quick stop at the Outfitters.
Yeah, let's do a shopping trip real quick, and then we'll head over there.
Okay.
How's that?
I'm down for it.
So
Good.
I think I would like to go to the I think I would like to go to the Alchemist's Hip Flask.
Okay. So at this point, you would walk back past Greedy Coombs' general store and round, and you would pass, first of all, Fire and Tongs, the blacksmith, and then you would arrive outside the Outfitters, unless any of you are stopping at the blacksmith.
I would like to go to the Outfitters too.
Okay.
So we're going to different places then?
At the moment, you're all
Meet up?
arriving outside the Outfitters, as far as I'm aware. Unless anybody
Okay.
wants to go a different direction. Given that Rosalind is going to the Outfitters, none of the rest of you would know where to go to get to Slink's Paradise.
Okay.
So I sort of assumed you must follow Rosalind, as she's the only one who really knows her way around.
Okay, so we're going to the Outfitters. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
The Outfitters.
as you enter into the room, sort of very oversized gentleman wearing a hideously coloured jacket with that is sort of
Is it flamboyant?
purpley brown. No, it's miserable and very strange.
Aw,
it's
okay.
purpley brown and it appears to be made of something hairy. He's wearing a dark purple shirt with an orange cravat and a bright silver pair of trousers. And he greets you and he says, well, come in. New faces, all faces alike. Come on in. And he sort of takes a side eye at the, sorry, my name's gone blank, at Vienna and sort of goes, oh, that's one way to dress, given that you're quite covered up in your cowl. Come on in. What can I do for you?
Good day. I was wondering if you had any clothing of magical property.
Clothing of magical properties. Well, you see, I have this wondrous jerkin, and he gestures to something on the wall that it looks like it smells. It is effectively a bunch of various different hides that have been mysteriously sewn in together, and it's ugly. It's sheer ugly. He says, "This can turn an arrow away at any fair distance." For those of you who are more sneaky inclined, that pair of trousers up there, and he gestures to a pair of trousers that you hadn't noticed until this very moment. A mottled black and grey of material they are, sort of on the wall, but as you look away, you no longer see them out the side of your eye. Those will keep you hidden in the night. And we have a wondrous shirt here for the budding nobleman, and it's covered in bright silver buttons and is white and pleated and laced and completely overdone. And for those of you who are interested in the really magical, and he gestures towards a multicolored robe that is blending between various different colors, Vienna, and you would notice it is also doing the same in the infrared spectrum. We have this cloak here, and it is sort of serpently scaled with black. That is a cloak of protection, and really quite exciting. We have these, and he gestures towards what appears to be a cloak made of raven's feathers. And he sort of gives you a sly wink and says, "They can help you fly."
That's so fucking cool.
These wares sound very interesting.
That's extraordinary.
Well, the price tag goes with it, I am afraid, but, magic items are rare and difficult to come by.
Yes, I do understand. I was wondering if you have... Well, you see, I typically dress a lot more ostentatiously. I'm sure that our fashion senses, are something that we have in common.
Oh, why, yes, I love an ostentatious piece of clothing, and as you were mentioning the magical, and he gestures back towards this incredibly laced white shirt with pleating and various different bits, and could function as a blouse,
However, I am looking for something a bit more plain, as, again, my clothing choice is rather flashy. I want to blend in with the crowd a little bit more.
If you want to blend in, you come to the wrong store, love. We do stand-out clothing here, but I suppose we have a few more normal pieces, and he gestures towards the rails where you see various different shirts, trousers, jackets, anything to your imagination, dresses, even a few suits, and he says, oh, we can tailor something to your liking if you wish. It takes 3 days, but you can choose something, and we even have a wonderful elven mage who comes down and helps enchant some of the clothing from the Magus Arcane. Should you wish to meet her, she is available each Tuesday. It is currently Monday, by the way. She's available each Tuesday should you wish to perhaps customize the wares to your liking, but she can be real pricey.
May I have her name?
Kalis. I'll spell that for you in the chat.
Okay, yeah.
Pardon me, but do you have a simple black cloak?
A simple black cloak. No magical properties, of course. There's about 8 on that rack over there, and he points to the other side of the room, where you see a large, long rack of black, grey, dark blue, red, etc. cloaks, all in a line. Your cloak is 8 kobecs if you can, and if you would like one specially tailored for you, you'll find it at 2 rubles.
How long does a special tailor take?
3 days. It'll be ready by Thursday.
Well, no,
Sorry.
that's fine. I'll take this black cloak.
Yep.
And if you'd like, we could trade for my green cloak, and I'll give you extra money on top.
He looks at your green cloak and he sort of sizes it up and goes, I don't really have a use for it, I'm afraid, but 8 Robeck is what I'll be charging.
And do you perhaps have any glasses for the sun? It gets in my eye.
Glasses? He looks very confused. To drink from?
Sunglasses.
Oh,
You
does
got
a
Gucci
Losk literally
sunglasses?
have glasses?
Then perhaps point to them?
Yes, glasses like
Ah,
the lady over there.
well, you'd be looking for something. They are quite the contraption. These improve your sight, I take it. These are not something that is common to the people. You may wish to inquire at the Magus Arcane. One of the gnomes there may be able to help you with something quite so exotic. But alas, we do not sell anything quite so complex here. It's fair to say at this point you realize that spectacles are not that common and are relatively, being that you don't see glass windows in most of the houses. This is, something that would be quite rare and unusual, and clearly a sign of Losk's excellent upbringing as opposed to something that's readily available to the public.
What new information?
Certainly tinted glasses would be really something. Sorry, Talon, you said?
I have a question about how much money we should have at.
I believe Losk said she was carrying 47 rubles around, and that
Okay.
should be
So
about
it's
right for each of you.
I was just making sure that's what I heard. I wasn't positive.
I believe so. Was
It was
that
46.
46?
Ask
There you go.
about blouse.
The blouse. Yes, this blouse bestows upon its wearer charisma and charm. Certainly anybody who sees you would notice that you are quite the person worth talking to, and it's at a wonderfully cheap price of 110 rubles.
Not so bad. Well, it certainly is lovely.
Is there a changing room?
There is indeed. You can try on anything non-magical. Unfortunately, the magical items are their very nature. It means that they will fit you regardless of who you are.
I will.
Sorry, go on, Lavi. Losk.
I'm not looking to try anything new on, but rather I'd prefer. I would like to put on my usual clothing, if you don't mind, of course.
No, sure, be my guest. And he gestures towards sort of a little door, and as you open it, you see 3 or 4 cubicles with sort of curtains across the front.
Like a Walmart changing room.
Exactly like a Walmart changing room, yes. But with slightly more ostentatious curtains. Yeah.
Okay,
Be-
yeah, I'm
be my
gonna go
guest.
change it to my usual clothing.
Okay. And while you're doing that, Vienna, you had a question?
I'll just switch my cloaks and give the guy a ruble. Is that how it is?
You can give a ruble and receive 2 kobecs in return.
No, I'll just give him a ruble. I don't want any change back.
Okay, well, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
And if the party wants a green cloak, you can have it.
Talon's just looking at the pants.
Yeah.
I thought he might be. Yep. Sort of, Bellathor sort of looks around and is wondering if any of the rest of you would like to trade for anything.
Oh, there's no good. No.
Yeah, I didn't see what I was looking for. I'm good.
I do think, however, I will try to. I will. I know many, right? So I will see this look in Tylon's eyes, and I will attempt to engage the shop owner in an enthralling conversation of tales and stories about his shop and what's it been like having a shop in a town like this?
Make a charisma check for me. At this point, he starts engaging with you, and I mean, he begins by saying, well, you know, I've been here a fair few years. It's not quite just Stern, as you know. It's not quite as up and coming and popular, but I like the fact that people are more traditional and a little bit more into the ostentatious. We have a ball up at the castle in Jester, and every month
14?
we have all these ladies coming to us. Sorry, Rosen.
14?
14. Yeah, it's fair to say he's interested in you. He's interested. Perhaps not interested in the way you intended it, but he's interested. He's sort of looking at you, and he's talking about the ball that happens every month at Jastern, and how he hated the fact that he always had to prep all these ostentatious garments in time, and there was always a rush, and he never got to trade with the regular people, and he's boring the shit out of you.
Is it safe to say he's distracted to a degree?
I would say he's very distracted.
All right. Talon's gonna try and steal the paint.
First of all, can you make a stealth check for me?
If I can find it. I swear to God, if I roll a 1.
Come on.
That's a 19 that brings it to a 28.
Okay, it is fair to say that you are near invisible at this point and could walk around the room. However, these trousers that were on the wall are... How tall are you? You said you were small, correct?
5. I either put... I forgot.
Are you over 4 foot?
4 foot? Is it 4 foot?
I don't know, are you over 4 foot? I mean, how small
yeah,
is small?
I'm over 4
Right, okay, yeah, so you can reach these, and they're a little above your head, but you can reach these. So if you'd like to make a sleight of hand check for me. And you're lucky in that you're stealing the pair of trousers that disappears when you're not looking directly at them. Otherwise,
That's
you might
another
notice.
fucking 19.
Okay.
That's a 26.
That's a 26. Yeah, you are able to not only take these off the rack very silently off the wall, you are also able to slip them into your backpack and sort of retreat towards the door, where it is fair to say Bellathor couldn't care less whether you were still there or not. He is still telling Rosalind all about the balls every month and his favourite nobles who are coming, and he's staring deeply into her eyes, sort of very attracted to her in perhaps the ways you might not expect. And he then says, "And you, my darling, what brings you here?" And he sort of is almost hypnotic in his talking when he starts asking you a question.
Oh well.
And, as I walk past her, I'd like to bump her just a little.
Oh well, I'm actually in a bit of a rush. Not, I'm here with my dear companions, and we're just shopping around before going off on. But I would love to come back again.
Of course, a lady like you must have very important business. Well, if you'd like, I can put the blouse aside for you.
Oh, please do. Please.
I will do. And he walks over towards the blouse, and at this point you may be realizing that the blouse was directly above the trousers, and you might want to start, coming up with an idea, because, he sort of looks very strangely at the space below and sort of looks around a little bit, but he no longer sees Tylon, he just sees the rest of you. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do I see the trousers?
Not anymore, they're in Tylon's backpack.
I see. Can I cast Minor Illusion?
Yes, but make a stealth check first. as you are attempting to do this directly in his face.
Mm-hmm. Stealth, sleight of hand check, right?
No, just a straight stealth check, please.
Oh, straight stealth.
Yeah.
Where's my stealth? Cool.
This is to see whether you can find a dark and shady corner from which to cast.
16.
Yeah, that'll do it. He's still sort of half glazed over, and he's still engaged in conversation with Rosalind as he's talking, and he sort of takes a look at where these trousers are, looks around them briefly, at which point you would cast your illusion. I'm assuming your illusion takes the form of the trousers.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
And basically, it does the
He's
same
on me.
color.
It is the same color, and it's like, sort of, again, if he's not looking directly at, and bear in mind these trousers are quite elusive to keep an eye on. He then looks up at the shirt, and he takes it down, and he folds it neatly, and he says, I'll place it behind the counter for you. And he's still talking to Rosalind at this point, and he sort of looks back at the trousers, and he nods to himself, just say, oh, right, there they are. Okay, again, I've looked the slightly wrong angle. And then, he sort of puts them behind the counter, and he, can I take your name, please?
Oh, that would be Rosemary.
Rosemary, lovely. Surname?
Rosemary,
You seem quite
Lagging.
unsure, madam. Rosemary lagging?
Laggin.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Rosemary's lagging. So he takes down your details, and he goes to ask you. You can see he's clearly thinking about asking you for an address or a contact. And then he nods to himself, writes it down, puts it on top of the shirt, and he says, "Well, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day."
Losk is
Thank you
gonna
very much.
emerge from the dressing room in his.
Oh goodness me! I forgot you were in there. Wow, well that's quite a contrast, isn't it? Wow, I can see what you
yes,
meant by ostentatious.
I pride myself in my fashion sense, and I'm sure you do too.
I do. Different shirt every day for me, and I love the blend of colours.
I must say, I love that. I admire that about you.
Why, thank
You've
you.
been so good to us. May I have your name?
My name's Bellathor, I believe.
Elathor.
Yes.
I'm gonna assume okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And yours.
I go by many names.
Ah, don't we all? Certainly my wife calls me something very different to the general public, but, well, let's not disclose that. But what name would you like me to address you by? Fry, don't forget a customer's name. You want to be called Fuckshit. Okay, got it. Right, Fuckshit. I mean, you've got a moment. Come up with a name.
Call me Keiko.
Keiko. He sort of looks down at the Rosemary surname and then looks at Keiko. He goes to write down Keiko and just shakes his head to himself. Well, do have a lovely day. You can see he clearly has no idea how to spell any of these names. But yes, he sort of nods to you. And as you are all headed out the store, we shall take a short break. We resume with you having just exited Bellathor's Outfitters, and you find yourselves in the street. Slightly to your right would be the Alchemist's Hip Flask, and beyond that, more stores and various stuff. The Provisioners is there, the feeding trough, and you're a short walk away from Slink's Paradise should you wish to head there.
Alright. Six Paradise? Or the Alchemist's Hip? Or something else? Okay, Alchemist's Hip. If nobody else has it.
The Alchemist's Hip Flask. Yep. As you are headed out onto the street and you begin to walk past, a young girl, sort of 5'2", 5'3", accosts your party, and says, "Oh, hello there. Please, take off, flyer. Welcome to the Sisterhood. Just remember, keep an eye on all your friends and family. You must be aware at all times. Make sure you've got your safe word." And she sort of pushes a flyer into the hand of each of you, and sort of scurries onwards. As you take a closer look at this flyer, it is a list of instructions on how to avoid being infiltrated by the Shadow Veil. Saying, have a safe word with your family, make sure that you check your friends and family at regular intervals, to make sure they have the same memories. Sort of a list of propaganda, basically, to keep you on your toes around the Shadow Veil.
Feels like a very similar situation to something I've done.
All right. This is good to know.
I will take the flyer and put it away.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Mac.
Oh, sorry.
Since you're a swashbuckler, do you still know Thieves' Cant? Because you're a rogue?
You don't know that.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a good thing to know. Actually, should we have a safe word? Should we have a safe word?
A safe word for what?
So for the Shadow Veil, so we know we're not being infiltrated without our knowledge.
Okay.
So just to
I
make
know.
a brief DM explanation here, the way the Shadow Veil work is to impersonate friends, family, each other, to the point that they almost assume
Yeah, that was
your personage. This is made obvious by the poster, and perhaps I didn't make it obvious to you. But yes, this is how the Shadow Veil works. So the reason behind the safe word is that you would always know the person you're talking to is truly the person you're talking to. Sorry, I'll step back again.
Losk is going to be offended and say this is anti-changeling propaganda.
Dear, we just want to know that you take many forms. We want to know that we want to have a way to know that somebody's not using that truly marvelous ability against you. So I think it would be best for us to have some way to confer with you.
Have our own word?
What about a secret handshake?
Ooh, yes, that sounds.
I like that secret handshake.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
I could teach you all the Drow silent code of
Secret handshake. is
hand
cooler.
symbols.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Sure.
That's like
Oh, we're gonna call
hand
it a
symbol
secret
plus one.
handshake.
I'd prefer not to touch people. They will get weirded out by how I feel when they touch me.
I wear gloves.
We'll think about this as we head off to Alchemist Head Flask.
As you saunter
I
down
feel
the
like-
road, go on. Sorry, lost.
I feel like Defendo would have a pretty cool handshake.
I feel like Defender would have a pretty.
It gives me that vibe of cool handshake.
Defender's so
His
cool.
hand is the size of her arm.
As your
Isn't that
head,
the cool part? Like breaking each other's arms while doing the handshake?
The best part of our handshake.
as you're headed to the hip flask, a small young boy sort of is walking past, and he takes a look at Rosalind and sort of stares quite closely, and then scurries off down towards the docks. It's fair to say that you would notice, Rosalind, that you'd been recognized in some way or other. But this is clearly a ship's boy, not somebody who's going to report you to the authorities, but more somebody who might have some work for you, etc. And is headed off to the docks to let someone or other know. He's definitely one of the shadier types, not a, he's not off to the nobles.
That scrappy look in his eyes, yeah. All right. Wonderful. Keep that in mind.
It's a
Rosalind.
7-foot walk to the hip flask, by the way.
Rosalind, just real quick. What happened to your ship?
Oh, don't get me started.
Okay, we can talk about that later. I was just wondering.
It'll just put me in a bad mood. Let's just pick up some potions. And then I would like to talk to whoever that boy is talking to. He looks rather curious. The hip flask.
So as you make the 7-foot walk to the door of the alchemist hip flask, because it is really that short a walk, you there's a wondrous sign on the top with a mortar and a pestle and sort of various potions and vernacular. And as you enter in, it's almost like a jungle. There are plants growing all over the shop, round to the sides. There is, in the back corner of the room, sort of a large alchemist's table, and there is a fine counter with glass top. And behind it stands an elf who is dressed very ostentatiously in a long robe. And he speaks very softly, and he greets you and he says, "Well, come in, travelers. I am Malagath. What can I do for you?"
I'll wait
well,
outside
we
while
were-
people shop. Just keep an eye on the town.
Okay, so Warren's waited outside. Okay.
This is the alchemist shop, right?
This is an alchemist shop indeed.
Pardon me.
I'd like-
Do you have any supplies that I could use for my alchemy?
We have herbs and plants of all sorts. Was there a particular potion you were looking to make?
Mainly a potion of healing.
Yes, of course, I have the ingredients just here. Ingredients, we usually charge 2 corbex each. That is 2 effectively silver pieces. 2 corbex each, or if you're buying 3 at a time, 5 corbex for the group. Some of the more basic ingredients, copper shard each will do. So this is your, and then he sort of lists off hundreds of herbs of, you know, your more basic flowers and plants. But he's more talking about sort of your nightshade, your imp's claw, those sorts of things would be 2 corbex each. Your basic ingredients, your flowers and such, would be a copper shard each. It's fair to say that for 1 ruble you would be able to gain a large selection of herbs and flowers that you would use to be able to create most standard potions. He offers you a pouch of sort of this is your standard alchemist collection, if you like. It's just 1 ruble for the group.
I shall take the pouch. Also, do you have anything exotic?
Exotic? As an ingredient or as a potion?
Ingredient.
Well, we have various monster parts, if you like. You know, your standard bat wing and, you know, your eye of newt. But we also have a couple of more strange items. And he pulls out a tray from under the desk and he puts it out. And the seriously gross items, you know, you're looking at a giant's toe. You're looking at the tongue of a salamander.
Good.
You know, all those sorts of items. It's 2 rubles an ingredient, if anything catches your eye. And at this point, I'll leave you free to pick out anything that you might wish to see there. It's fair to say he has any ingredient you can think of, barring like dragon's blood.
So, how much do I owe him?
So it's 3 rubles overall.
Okay.
Okay, and is anybody interested in a potion of sorts? I have many potions, from your standard filter of love or your greater healing potion or resistance potions, all the way up to, you know, your potions of heroism and frost giant strength. We can grant you breath of fire. We can give you speed, animal friendship, you know, all the things you can imagine. I remind you
How
again
much
that
are
you have the
your
list.
healing potion?
Greater or superior, sir?
Lower grade ones.
Your standard lower grade potions. Unfortunately, you may wish to pop to your general store for that. We sell things of the finer arts, but I can offer you a greater healing potion for just 5 rubles, or a superior one for 10.
This is like a proper adventure town. How exciting. Okay.
I will not have to talk to my... This I will buy 1 of each.
1 of each, 1 greater, 1 superior, sir.
Yes.
Yes, that would come to 15 rubles.
All right.
I will take 2 greater.
2 greater, that's 10 rubles, if you would.
And did you happen to have any poisons?
Any poisons? Well, make a persuasion check? No, make a charisma check. Just a standard charisma check, please.
Just straight charisma. Okay. Let's see. That's going to be a 17.
Why, yes, my lady, but I'd prefer it if you didn't tell the authorities. And he takes another drawer out of his sort of wondrous counter and he places on the top and it says, we have standard vials of poison, we have vials of greater poison, we have this, and he gestures towards this is an acid of which is quite strong and exotic. And then he gestures towards what looks to be a small filter of blood and he says, and this is the venom of the asp, and it is highly illegal, as you may know, and it is 75 rubles for the bottle, and I only have the 1, but should you wish it, it's yours.
Well, very intriguing, very, very intriguing. And I'm sure it makes you anxious to have it on your hands.
Well,
Unfortunately,
we could do with it not being present on the premises, but, well, someone sold it to me and I've been holding it until now. Yes, unfortunately they do come and check our stock every now and again. You are right, it is something we really would rather not have in the store. Perhaps I could lower the price slightly, or
unfortunately,
there is something you could do for me, for which I may well be willing to part with it. Yes, you see, Hagatha down at the docks, she was meant to bring us in our newest stock of ingredients, but as yet apparently she's coming to shore. You may know Hagatha, Rosalind, as a standard, slightly dodgy merchant on the seas. Reports are she's coming to shore, but she hasn't come to visit me. You can find her boat down at the dock. It's the Lady's Lament. If you're able to find her and persuade her to return here, perhaps with some of her wares, perhaps I might be willing to part with the bottle as a gift of goodwill, provided, of course, we continue to do business in the future. I mean, already you are spending your good money here, and that is wonderful for me, so the more you visit, the better for me. But yes, I'm willing to pass with the venom of the asp if you can persuade Hagatha to drop by.
Absolutely, I would be happy to. I think that would be a lovely exchange. I look forward to doing business with you again soon.
Why, thank you. And, he's
Sorry, I have a quick
he's
question.
very interested in
sorry.
Rosalind being a Yuan-Ti, so I think it is fair to say that his offer of future trade and engagement is most definitely made directly to her. Sorry, Lost, you were going to say?
No, sorry, I just have a quick question. So, you know how, as a changeling, you said that I have limits on, like, what size I could change into?
Yeah. I would
Are you
say
gonna-
between 4 and 7 foot.
Yeah, but are you... So, when let's say I do change it to, like, I don't know, 200 pounds, 7 foot. I know that clothes don't change, but are they going to change with me? Like, stretch out or something?
Any clothes of magical ilk would change with you. It is fair to say something sort of with more volume, like a cloak or a dress, would change with you, but something that was more tightly fitting, it is fair to say, wouldn't. I mean, well, for the sake of propriety, we'll extend your undergarments, but if you have a tight-fitting pair of trousers, unless they're a magical of nature, it is fair to say they would not expand with you.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't imagine how, as a changeling, you would make said trousers change size. And, you know, that's quite a magical act.
Aside from you asking us to do a shakedown, do you have a map of the surrounding area?
No, but I know that you can purchase your very own on parchment if you were to head to Greedy Coom's general store. He sells them, and I believe they're 5 copper shards.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right.
I've concluded my business.
Oh, very well. Well, if you manage to track down Hagatha and bring her back, then I'll keep this aside for you. It won't be for sale until you return.
Well,
One of us wasn't in here, right?
Yes, Warren Strix is outside.
I'm gonna leave and Strix.
Okay, when you exit...
Agatha?
Hagatha, with an H at the beginning.
Hagatha.
When you exit Tylon, you find that Warren Strix is not directly outside the door. Warren, as you were standing and waiting, a young priest has sort of come up to you and sort of vaguely accosted you and said, "Are you Warren Strix?"
I am, and who may you be?
I'm an acolyte of the local temple. My name is of no importance to you nor anybody else, but it's fair to say that I find the way the Furians engage in business a little underhand and slightly unpriestly, if you would. I was wondering if you are an adventurer of sorts.
I have recently become one, yes, why?
Well, you see, there is a small group of vampires who I discovered who have been operating outside of town, and I can mark their location on this map here for you, and he sort of holds up a map of what is the local area. It's not necessarily that I need them removed. I'm not that kind of priest, if you would, but they took something from me, and if you are able to return it, I would very gladly reward you. In fact, as a gesture of goodwill, I'm willing to pay you some of the gold up front if you are willing to investigate.
Would I be able to hear this conversation?
No, at this point you can't see Strix. He's been led just around the corner of the building.
Oh, gotcha.
Hence, yeah, you couldn't see him when you came out. But Strix, yeah, he's offering you some gold up front to investigate said area.
Definitely possible, but what is this item that the vampires have taken from you?
It is a, He sort of looks very sheepish. It's a necromantic amulet. It is allows me to commune with the undead, and I believe they're trying to find some of their brethren. And then he sort of pushes a pouch into your hand, containing some money, and says, "This is, even if you don't investigate, please do keep quiet about this. As I said, it's not the ideal thing for a priest to be holding on to, as I'm sure you're aware, but Yes, if you would investigate, and then he hands you a piece of parchment, and outside of Karthan is an X marking this sort of area. As you come across it, it is a ruins of sorts. It used to be a church. Fairly difficult to miss. It's just off the beaten track, and... Well, sir, if you would investigate, I'd be much grateful. If you return to, if you go to the temple and ask a brother Marcus, which is how I'm known by them, then, you would be able to let me know if you've managed to retrieve my item, and I assure you that compensation will be excellent. And then, he sort of nods at you, and it sort of looks up briefly for an answer, but it's clear that he's ready to make a dash if you are not responding.
I'll just stare at him till he leaves.
Okay. He dashes off away from you and down an alley. At this point, if you were to return to the front of the store, you would bump into Tylon. And we resume with the rest of you within the store. I believe Rosalind and Losk had concluded some business. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just heading out.
Defender, did you wish to purchase anything, or are you also headed out?
I'm headed out.
Okay. Vienna, you joining them outside?
Yeah, I bought everything I need to.
Okay. So,
Pardon me, Losk. You
What's
said you
up?
were a changeling?
I mean, what else could I be?
given that she's changed into Eliza and back, I think that's fairly... you know that by this point, but
I'm a
yes.
shifter. Come on, man.
Interesting.
I mean, to be fair, she could have used this guy itself.
True. She could have used a spell to do so.
Thank you for the information.
Ooh.
I suppose we head to the tavern?
This is Slink's
Yeah.
Paradise you're referring to, yes?
I was actually. thinking
Yes,
we might-
Link's Paradise.
Sorry, who asked? Who was speaking just then? Was that Rosalind?
Well, I was just saying that we might head over and try to get Magnus or Hagnus, whatever.
Hagatha.
Agatha.
You would
Magnus.
you would pass the Slink's Paradise on your way down to Hagatha's, and it's to the boat, to the dock. And it is also fair to say that it is not a tavern. It is a dark and shady, dodgy bar that might occasionally sell some drinks, but is far more used for business. But yeah, you would definitely pass Slink's Paradise on your way to or returning from Hagatha's boat at the docks, should you head down there. Or at least the dockmaster's house is down there.
As someone who is dressed in some high fashion stuff, some Gucci and Versace, I'm going to stick really, really close to the party so that I don't get mugged.
Yeah,
We
it's,
headed to the shady part of town.
it's fair to say that you're now
Yeah.
heading into what appears to be slightly seedier town area. You sort of approach down past. You are now outside the Slink's Paradise, and it's a strange-looking building because there is a standard house door. It appears to be a regular house in lots of aspects, but you can definitely see that there is a side door that Rosalind you'd be very familiar with, and that is what leads to the bar as opposed to the front, the facade.
Going in?
I'm okay. I'm here.
Oh,
Sorry, are you
so are we going?
you headed down all the way to the docks, or are you gonna stop by Slink's Paradise?
Well, I think some people wanted to go to Sling's Paradise, and I'm happy to go.
Also, just quickly, Strix, it was 100 gold bag that you're given, but if you'd like to distribute that out, it's 17 rubles each.
Sure. I will inform everyone of the conversation I had with the priest as well.
Oh, I would have told them what I heard about Agatha as well.
Yeah. So it's fair to say that all of you are on the same page. All the information you've heard has been shared. So outside...
100 gold up front.
Sorry?
Got my
That was 100 gold up front.
I apologize.
Yes,
What
yes,
is this
which is divided
gold
by
you speak
17,
of?
17 rubles each that you gain.
Is that?
17 rubles each.
I was talking to Alex. I thought he said something.
Oh, I said, what is this gold you speak of?
Sorry, were you headed in or remaining outside?
Yeah, I think people wanted to head in, right?
I would like to go in.
Okay.
Actions?
I'm just kind of like going with the flow.
Is there a gambling master around?
No, certainly not in here. Well,
I see.
Gambling master might not be what you're looking for. It's fair to say there, as you enter the seedy bar, You look around you, and there is a elven girl sat behind the bar. She's sat on a stool, sort of vaguely polishing a glass. As you entered the door, there was a very, very large human with sort of a huge beard and a massive warhammer on his back, who appears to be sort of judging who comes through, but he nods at Rosalind. He clearly knows she's been here. There is a half-orc sat at the bar, muttering away to the young barmaid behind the counter, who, Rosalind, you would know is called Rebel. There is a man sat in the corner, a halfling, with a shady cowl, playing with a pair of dice, but perhaps Games Master would not be the right term for him.
Is this where we can find some work to do? I'm looking at Rosalind.
Oh, yes. No, there's always work to be found here.
I do think we already have found work as well before getting here.
Right.
Yes,
So
but
much work.
something with more reputation that we could gain.
Look at
We
this
should talk
place.
to Rebel about that.
Depends what kind of reputation you're trying to gain, love. But yeah,
Look at this place.
it is definitely, you would know that it is Rebel who regularly gives you out any things that need doing.
Rebel!
Oh, Rosalind! Such a pleasure as always. I'm glad to see you've made it back into town again. Greylon? That's the name of the guy who snuck
yes.
you back into town. Yep. He's good for that. He's good for that. And who are these friends you brought? Are they
These.
they're the right people to be here? He's looking directly at Losk at this moment, sort of a bit curious.
His looks are deceiving.
I make myself like 3 inches shorter to hope that they don't notice me.
It's more the case that you look a little too refined for this tavern. But they're kind of, she's used to all types coming in. Oh good. Well, I'm glad she's brought you in. Are you here looking for work or just for a drink?
Work would be great.
Can I get you a drink while we talk about business?
Absolutely.
Is wine all right with a lot of you?
Yes.
Okay.
For me.
She slams down a humongous bottle of red wine, which is looking a little dusty, and pops the cork out of it.
Costco cooking wine. Yeah.
Little bit, yeah. And she sort of pops out 6 glasses around, and then she also puts down 6 shot glasses on the bar and is pouring fire whiskey into each one of them. And she slides out the 6 shot glasses in a row and says, "To new friends," and then pours the wine out for you and pushes it over. And she says, "Well, business as usual. Well, first of all, you may wish to talk to my friend here." And she points towards the half-orc. And she says, "This is Yelnook, and he has some quite serious business, but should you wish to not get involved with that, we have a contract out for a mission at the Irvon Manor. If you can, and I know some of you can, manage to get into Irvon Manor, somebody is looking to create some trouble. It is known that Irvon keeps a, how do I put this, collection. And most recently, he has acquired quite the item. He has acquired a ring. It is quite easy to find. It is jet black, with a humongous black gemstone on it. And he has not been seen wearing this recently, so it's fair to say he's probably keeping it in his chambers somewhere. He has acquired this from a friend of mine, and she would like it back. Please don't put the ring on unless you are of the correct race. You may find yourself in quite a lot of pain. However, if you can return it, we've got 750 rubles out for that.
Thank you for the work, dear. You know I love rings.
Secondly, we have a rather simple task. Bryson, the stable master. I mean, this is more a thing you'd expect him to ask at the tavern, but he wants to get rid of a donkey? Beats me, but he's only offering 5 copper shards, but I suppose he's also offering a donkey, I suppose? If you want to head over to Bryson and just ask him up front about it, honestly, I have no idea why he's dropped it by me, but 5 copper shards for getting rid of a donkey, should you be interested. And, finally, we have something come down from the Magus Arcane itself. Now, as you might be aware, the Magus Arcane aren't usually the type to stop here, but Furlock, the gnome, is. He's attempting to get hold of a black sapphire, and as you know, that is strictly illegal, so, that's why he's dropped down here, and he's offering 1,000 Rubens if you can find him one.
It's not bad.
No, I don't quite know where you would get hold of one, but you might want to speak to Hagatha down at the docks. She's just come in. She might know where you might find one. But that's what we've got for work, and as I said, you're welcome to ask Yelnut what he wants done. But it's not pretty.
I ask her in Thieves' Cant, is there anything really good?
As I said, you might want to speak to Yelnuk.
Damn, okay.
That's
all right.
Yeah, that's clearly the shadier of the quests.
Got it. Anybody had questions or anything?
I would honestly like to take on the donkey quest.
Well, Roz will tell you how it works here, but basically, you don't take a quest specifically. It's first to get to it, go for it. So if you're the first person to Bryce and you sort him out, he'll reward you himself. As for the rest, if you can return the item to me, then the money's yours. You can, of course, also, if you need some funds in advance for the Black Sapphire, speak to Maestro Furlock at the Magus Arcane, but obviously that requires you can get in there. But should you be able to get in there, yeah, that is... Go on.
Do you perhaps know where we can find a Black Sapphire?
No, as I said, Hagatha would be the best to ask. She's just come in. She may have some wares on her. She's a mighty haul. But you'd probably want to be asking around the docks. Items like that tend to come and go as fast as you like. The Lady's Lament is one for trading in slightly nefarious goods, so Hagatha's probably got some information, even if she doesn't have it herself. If you're looking to get into the Magus Arcane and you're currently not able to, you may be able to get a pass from Athelion. I think on the more straight and narrow, he is looking for somebody to do something or other for him. And he generally can provide a pass at relatively cheap. But you know how it is.
Athelion,
yes. He is the store owner of Athelion's mystical and magical goods.
Ah.
Okay. Well, we should talk to the other guy, right?
The half-orc's sort of looking at you expectantly, waiting for you to ask if he has any work for you.
Yeah. We're just gonna
Interested?
slide on over there.
He's sitting at the bar next to you. He sort of looks over and he goes, "You interested?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, I don't normally hang around places like this. But that damned noble bastard Graldor slighted me in court. He jested that perhaps us half-orcs were not as cultured as the rest of them. Well, I'd like to introduce him to a bit of orcish culture, if you would. If you can bring me his head, I will reward you with exquisite goods.
Is gonna
Tylon.
nudge Tylon.
Yeah.
Nobles, am I right? What a bunch of losers.
So if you don't already know, Graylon is one of the Embercrests. Sorry, Graldor is one of the Embercrests. He's one of the lesser lords, but thinks of himself very highly. He can be found sleeping in the manor there. He also frequents our local tavern, the One-Armed Knight, and is known to make the occasional journey to the Ladies of the Night in the west of town. That's about as much information as I've got on the bastard, as I really don't care what he does with his life, but bring me his head and I'll reward you with riches beyond your imagination.
And he is a gnoll.
He's a gnoll? Is he? I don't think so. I believe he's human, like the other Embercrests.
Wait, then who said no?
He's a noble.
No.
Oh, noble. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you've
why we're all
got four noble manors at the east side of town: the
I'm
Embercrests, the
assuming we're listening
Raynhams,
to this
the
conversation.
Cragthorns, and the Irvons. You can all hear him very clearly. And there are the four noble homes, if you like, and he's just told you that Graldor is one of the Embercrests.
So we're gonna kill Graldor.
All right.
If you can bring me his head, I will reward you exquisitely.
All the information you have, that would be of
What
use
was
to me.
your name?
That is pretty much all the information I have of use for you. He's one of the Embercrests. If you look at your map, it is on the east side of town. You will see the Embercrests manor.
What was your name?
My name?
Yes.
You may call me Yelnuk.
Elnok.
Yelnuk. That's Yelnuk. Yeah. And as I said, I don't normally frequent places like this, but I understand it's the place to hire the shadier types, and he nods towards Fen and says, and certainly the stranger types, this is, a good place to hire out. Well, anyway, I best be going. Should you manage to get his head, please return it to our fair barmaiden here, and she will see to your payment.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Put my hand on his shoulder and look at it and say, anyone else?
No, just Geraldor, and he looks a bit sort of nervous. Like, what have I done here? What have I hired?
Then I'll let go and say, pity.
Oh, very well. And he sort of nods to the bar lady and sort of looks around disconcerted at a lot of you, hoping that his business is concluded, and begins to head out.
Sounds like we're talking to Hagatha. Sounds like we're talking to Hagatha.
Where is this Hagatha?
I want
Docks.
to immediately go and look at it.
Go what? Sorry, Talon, you cut out.
Said I want to immediately go to.
Again, you've
The
cut out.
noble.
You
Cut out again?
Yeah, you want to scout what? Where are you trying to go?
The noble place.
Okay, you want to head to Embercrest Manor.
Oh.
It is currently 10 a.m., say 11 a.m. maybe. Is this scouting you wish to do during the day? Do you care?
I don't care.
Okay.
Look at it.
I'll leave you to it to discuss.
Before anything, I believe we should discuss all the options before we go do the tasks. If that is okay with you, Talon.
You know what I want to do.
Here's the thing, Tylon. There are better times to do that.
You definitely just said I wanted to go look at the place. What the fuck?
Okay.
I'm not gonna kill someone in the middle of daylight. I just wanted to look at it. Holy.
Yeah.
Like, I could see the place a lot easier in the daylight, just saying.
He's not wrong.
I will say,
Jesus.
Hagatha seems to be involved in two of these things.
Yeah, she seems
We need-
pretty shady, for sure.
She seems shady as hell.
Ros,
So
you'd
we
know
have to
her
talk
as
to her.
the sort of, as opposed to a standard pirate, she doesn't pirate other ships. She instead is effectively a smuggler. She has all sorts of shady goods
Got
that
it.
she trades between different towns. So that is how you know of Hagatha. Sorry, carry on.
So yeah, we have to talk to Hagatha about the poison trade thing and the black sapphire. Gotta get the black ring, gotta get the vampire amulet, and we gotta kill Graldor. Those are our 5 things.
Yes.
Did you leave out the donkey?
As far as I'm concerned, there's one.
Oh, and the donkey, of course,
Don't
the
forget
donkey.
the
How could I
donkey,
forget the fucking donkey?
Because I
do
believe
not
forget going after this donkey.
Vienna was
Please do not
particularly
forget the
interested in
donkey.
retrieving said donkey.
I need the donkey.
Okay, we have to do the donkey. However,
I think he asked you to get rid of it, not do it, but, you know, whichever you prefer.
But so we know where Hagatha is now, and she moves around a bit, probably, right, smuggler?
Definitely.
I'd say we should probably talk to her when we know where she is.
And
Yes?
Fine.
where is she now?
At
The
ruins.
docks.
Well, let us go talk to her now.
We're near the docks just now, aren't we?
You are very near the docks, yes. Sorry, I will
Well, there you
replace
go.
this with a map for you. So yes, you are. The dock house, if you like, it is sort of down at the primary dock, so you would be able to inquire with the dockmaster whether Hagatha's boat had come in. The Lady's Lament.
Hagatha? Objections?
No objections.
Tyler,
Bad.
were you
Hagatha.
looking to scout out on your own to Embercrest, or were you saying that you were going to stick with the party for now?
Well, I don't know where to go to get there, so I'll stick.
Yes, you didn't purchase the map, did you? None of you did. Right, okay, cool. That's fine. Yep,
We'll
so...
do that next. We'll do that next.
Okay. So, as
We
you...
have a GPS with us.
Would I know where that?
Rosalind.
Both,
Yeah.
yes, Strix.
Noble places?
Yes, most definitely
For
Strix.
record, the map I want isn't the map of the town. I want a map of, like, the region.
You would be able to purchase
it's-
that from the general store too.
It's not just me. I think Strix
Yeah,
also
Strix knows his way around.
the town really well.
Yeah, if
So
we
if you
wanted,
took one
we
of
could
us,
split
you
up.
could go. But I need to talk to Hagatha.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense for Rosalind to go to the dock. I'll go with Tylon to the noble place.
Okay. Allow me to briefly expand your map so that we can include said noble place. There you go. So yeah,
I will go to the docks.
is it just Strix and Tylon headed down to the Embercrest Manor?
It's a stealth mission, yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave them to it.
Small, elite
Strix and
team.
Tylon, as you head back into the nicer parts of town, you would pass the tavern, you would pass various seedy houses, some of the more casual wear places, your bakers, your carpenters, etc. And we will resume with you shortly as you make your way to Embercrest Manor. To the rest of the party, it is only a short walk down to the dockhouse. So you would sort of break through these seedy buildings and you'd be down at the dockhouse. It's fair to say, Rose, you're not the most welcome in the dockhouse itself.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's quite the dockhouse is sort of the shipmaster. He's the tax man, right? Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so he looks up. His name is Victor. Looks up. He's a very prim and proper man. He's stood behind the chair and he
He's
says,
my type of man.
"This is oh well, do come in. Are you here to announce your goods?"
Yeah, I just step back and let Losk talk.
Okay. He looks at Losk's
What are we talking
ostentatious
about?
clothing and goes, "Oh, well, why, hello there. Do come in. Do come in. What can I do for you? Are you here to announce your goods? I believe you're looking for Hagatha's ship, Losk."
No, actually, we are looking for somebody.
Oh, and who would that be?
I believe they go by Hagatha.
Hagatha, bear with me, and he scrolls out his parchment, and he goes through many, many different ships, and looks through and he goes, no, oh dear, one of those, is it? And he takes out another list of scrappy parchment, and it's long, it's really, really long, and he sort of starts looking down. Oh, yes, right, okay. Well, if you can find Hagatha, she's the owner of the Lady's Lament. She came into town relatively recently, still hasn't seen fit to announce her cargo, probably smuggling it out the side of the boat, knowing her. Well, if you do see her, tell her she's due to visit the shipmaster's dock. I can tell you the Lady's Lament checked in Bay 3 of the dock, Bay 3. So as you come out here, if you'd like to take a right, walk along the coastline slightly, and you'll see the numbers. They're fairly obvious. Third one down.
Nice to see you, Victor. Hi.
Thank you. I'll let her know to come and see you when we do find her.
Why,
or if
thank
we do
you.
find her.
Why, thank you. And I don't quite know why you're mixing with types of people like that, but keep your pockets tight about you, as they say. Keep your pockets tight about you.
Thank you.
Good day. So it's fair to
love
say
him.
that as you exit this ship, you can see the big brass numbers on sticks telling you which dock is which. You are currently standing at number 6. It's fair to say you would be able to work out, unless you're a monkey, that it is 6543, and you would head to 3.
Intelligence check.
No.
Dude. I would fail that.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll let you progress, and we will resume with Strix and Tylon. Strix and Tylon, you stand in front of what is a wonderfully kept garden. In front of a large manor house. This would be perhaps between 18 and 20 bedrooms. I mean, when I say large, it is quite glamorous. There are marble pillars at the front, a wonderful door with a big brass knocker. It is a door made of iron and wood, and unlike every other building you've seen so far, these are glass windows in every sort of window that you see. As you look at it face on, you can see many, many windows. The building stands 3 stories high, plus the roof, which is unlike the thatched roofs of most of the buildings apart from the tavern and the guardhouse. This is, quite wondrous sculpted marble and brickwork.
So how do you want to do this?
Typical houses. Extravagant.
Tylon, I'm really sorry, you are cutting out left, right, and center.
Alright, sorry.
That's all right.
Typical noble bullshit. Always extravagant and unnecessary.
Losk, you just described Losk in 2 words.
Well, I definitely did, and definitely have tried not
It's
to
not
say anything about
unnecessary.
it.
Anyway, as you are looking at this building, you're not getting the nicest of looks from the people around you. You have entered what is quite a noble and well-to-do district. They don't like strangers. But carry on as you are.
I'd really just like to look at all the... see if I can see anybody or anything. guard shifts and such?
It's fair to say there are no guards immediately apparent at all to the house. As you look around, you see various windows with curtains drawn. Downstairs, you can see some lights on in one room, and you can see what appears to be a very ostentatious dining room, but with nobody currently sat in it. And as you were to make your way round, you would see, again, you know, they're not particularly high walls. They're only 4 foot tall, but it's ostentatious, but not defensive in any way. It is just sort of open, if you like. The door's not open, but it's very, you know, welcoming and elegant.
Well, like gate around the house?
Nope, just the wall around the very front and around the front garden, but around the side houses, no, you could effectively throw a stone through a window.
Please don't.
I mean, the window is directly accessible from the street. That's where I'm coming from with this.
Wow, this is a lot easier than I mean, actually.
I'll put some incense in my sensor, so there's like, it looks like we're doing a blessing or something around the house, so it looks like we've got a reason to be here.
Okay. Make a performance check for me, please.
Boy. That's a 9.
There is a few gentlemen around in the street, and one of them is giving you a very, very strange look and thinks you might have lost your marbles. But, you know, you're just all there incensing, and he's not accosting you, he's just sort of really intently staring like, what is this person doing?
Well, doesn't seem like there's much to look out for here. It's not difficult to get into. I just need some extra supplies for the night.
What do you need?
Seems like a ladder'd be pretty good.
I can walk up walls.
That is very useful, actually.
Wow, I had no idea any of you could walk up walls. I'm well impressed.
Are you strong as well? I don't weigh that much.
I'm quite strong. I'm no superhero, but I can pull my own. Maybe I can pull you as well.
Yeah, that's it's about the gist of my plan. Not much of a thinker, or of a doer.
Right. That sounds good, I guess. I'm not much of a thinker either.
The walls are made of fairly ornate brickwork. There are small ridges in between each brick, but you would, you know, it's a wall that you would be able to climb up if you were the most dexterous of people. It is fair to say.
I have spider walking.
No, I know, but I'm just in general
Damn.
letting you know what the wall is, how it is textured.
I don't even need you then. Probably. Well, I was expecting a lot harder of a scenario for me to get into, but if that's all it is, we can head back to the other group, I guess.
Did you agree a meeting place?
What?
I thought we were going back to the dock.
You're going to head to the docks, are you? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you would know where the Dock Masters is. You wouldn't necessarily know where the group had headed from there. Speaking of which, we will resume with said group. You have...
One more
Oh,
thing
sorry, go on,
before.
Tottenham.
Is there any, like, buildings close by to it?
No.
Okay.
It
That was
is
the
a very
only
much
other thing I
standalone building.
Gotcha. Okay, that's it.
All right. So we resume with the other group to Losk, Rosalind, Dufenda, and Vienna. You have exited the shipmaster's docks, and you've seen these large brass handles. And the ship's boy you see earlier comes running past and nudges Rosalind on the arm. Says,
Oh, hello there.
Cray wants to see you.
Is that a name I recognize?
Yes, definitely. Cray is the nastiest of the nasties.
This is the nasties.
He's docked down just past 7, the boy whispers. And he puts a bag of gold, pure gold. It weighs, you know, this bag is heavy. And he puts it in your hand. And then he also, from his pocket, retrieves something and hands it over to you. And it is a 100 ruble bill So you can divide up 17 kobex each, 17 rubles each, throughout the group. But he's also, he's hefted you a bag that feels incredibly heavy. And then he dashes off down the street barefoot.
Well, that's next on the list, I suppose. Agatha first. Priorities.
Are you inspecting said bag at all, or are you just going to pocket it for now and walk on?
Yeah. What's in the bag?
As you open the bag, you see what appear to be thumb screws. They are sort of the width of a thumb, and they have like two sides either way, and it's a large bag of them. And if you peer slightly more closely and make an investigation check for me, please.
All right. Investigation, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's going to be a 16.
You can see that there is blood around each of these thumb screws. They have clearly been used in an act of torture.
Ooh.
And as you are fumbling through this bag with a slight look of distaste on your face, you see a piece of paper at the bottom.
Okay, what's on the paper?
Just says, "We have her." Cray.
Bum bum bum.
That's exciting. Okay. He can wait.
Cool.
Go up to dock 3 to the ship.
Okay.
Speak to Hagatha.
As you approach, there is a ship's boy, sort of greets you and he says, "Can I help?"
Oh, yes, dear. We're looking for Hagatha.
Very well, thought you might be. So's the rest of the town. What's it to you? Who are you?
Well, first of all, what's your name, boy?
I am Ducky McDuck. Thanks, Wilsons. Really gonna remember that one.
We never noticed the names for sure.
Yeah,
I noticed
I'm
that. I
Ducky
was like, I gotta
McDuck,
give it.
the ship's boy to Hagatha, and and who are you?
Rosalind Sachs.
Ah, a fellow businessman, or businesswoman as it may be. Well, in that case, and he sort of turns around, he does a strange two-fingered whistle that I can't impersonate, but is a loud finger whistle, and a grumpy-looking gentleman sort of shoulders on down. The boy shouts up, "Rosalind Sachs to see Hagatha!" And the guy looks a bit surprised and goes, all right, send them up. There's a sort of walkway, gangway up to a certain area, and then a plank across, where it should be fairly easy for any of you to walk. Although, defender, watch your footing. And he's gesturing for you to come into the boat.
I would like to change my form to look a bit more feminine.
Okay.
It's like slightly longer hair. Just like lean more on the feminine side than the masculine side.
Okay. As you head up to the ship's dock, you gesture towards the captain's room, where there is space enough for the four of you. A large oak table sits in front of you with a decanter of brandy in the center and a scattering of crystal glasses around. And there sits what appears to be an older woman, sort of maybe in her early 60s. She has ringlets of grey hair and really heavy earrings in both sides, and a massive jeweled necklace.
I love her.
She's wearing a fairly short skirt and high-knee boots and a vested top. And she sort of speaks to you in a very gritty accent. Says, "Rosalind, it's been a while. What brings you here?"
Business,
Business? What kind of business?
Well, we had a couple questions for you.
Oh my.
First of all,
Does it come with money?
possibly. We're speaking with the potions.
Oh, yes.
His name.
Wants his wares, does he? Mm-hmm. Is it worth money to you?
I'd really appreciate it.
Is it worth
it's a
money
favorite
to
of
you,
me.
darling?
Well, I will be getting, what was it called? Ashen.
Venom of the Asp.
Was that?
Venom of the Asp, but that's what she's really inquiring. Is it worth money for you to pay her to make the visit?
Oh, okay, I'm just dumb. What do you want for
She
it?
puts a hand on her hips and she goes, 10 rubles!
For a visit
10 rubles to.
down the street.
10 rubles for me to go out of my way to help you and speak to that ass? Yes, 10 rubles.
It really is an ass. Sure. Why not?
Hand it over, chick.
10 rubles.
She tosses it over to the grumpy-looking male who's sat on the side. Goes, and get us some drinks! And he sort of scurries to the side and he starts pouring what appears to, from a really, really awful woodeny bottle that's, there's this beautiful crystal decanter on the table, but he's pouring from an awful woodeny bottle, and this sort of browny red slushy drink is in 2 glasses, and he puts 2 glasses out in front of the 4 of you, sort of shrugs his shoulders and walks back to the door. And she goes, any other business you had?
Yes. Vien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
Name? Oh, you were speaking about the Black Sapphire, right?
Yes. How do we acquire some?
No, shit, it's a drow. Not something you see every day. She's very, very astute. Despite your cloak, instantly picked it up.
Oh,
And she goes,
pardon me, and I'll just open my cloak.
she goes, well, I like that. It's always nice to see something different. What can I do for you?
Do you know how we could acquire a black sapphire?
With your life.
Pardon?
With your life. Ever spoken to Cray?
No.
Well, you don't want to, but the bastard's got a black sapphire. Pulled it in recently. He's been trying to sell it 500 Rubens.
500.
Yeah.
Who is this Craig?
You don't know Cray? Oh, well, he's a bastard. A murderer. Scoundrel of the finest arts and a fucking good pirate. You'll find him down past Dock 7. He's got his own little harbor. The authorities don't touch Cray, or Cray touches the authorities with more than his hands, if you know what I mean.
Understood.
You will have ferries getting in there. He loves a drow. Unfortunately, you may not want to be the one who goes in. I warn you, he plays with the elven types in ways you don't want to witness.
May I ask, does he have a bounty on his head?
Oh, every bounty you can imagine, but nobody will touch him. You don't want to go near him in that way.
Just a question. Thank you.
Anything else I can do for you boys? And ladies.
Bosky's gonna flip, I guess, her hair as if she is a lady.
Yeah. Anything else I can do for you girls? Boys, a lot of you.
Sounds like we're settled.
All right, get the fuck out then.
Okay.
She's clearly want to conclude business swiftly.
Happy to see you, darling.
Well, somewhat you do. She raps her knuckles on the desk and is sort of staring at you intently, waiting for you to leave.
I'm gonna yeet out.
Yeah, we're getting out of here. We're getting out.
Okay, but as you come down the gangway, you encounter your friends Tylon and Strix. And I'm afraid that is where we're going to conclude.
I'm so excited to see what's his face?
Cray?
What was his name again? Let me write that down. Cray.
That's C-A-R-Y. Or K-A-R-Y. I don't think he gives a shit.
Dungeon Master God, sir. Since I've been stabbed, has it been an hour?
Oh, what's...
Can we say I've took a technical short rest?
No.
No, okay.
No, you've been walking about town. If anything, you've made it worse, not better. Jesus, nice try.
As a matter of fact, you take another D2 damage.
Somebody will dagger you. Well, anyway, so as you retreat down the gangway, we will leave it there for today. And you are all back together. First of all, as you know, first of all, thank you very much for playing today. And Mac, you don't think you witnessed this, but we like to choose an MVP of the day. This can be anything pretty much other than each other's characters, unless one of your characters does something particularly heroic or interesting. So in general, this is an inanimate object, a line of speech, something amusing. So I'll start with Tylon. What was your MVP for the day?
Me and fucking Rosalind's first "you speak, I sneak" moment.
the theft of the pants of the thieves. The breaches of thievery, I think they're called, actually.
Thieves' breaches.
Thieves' breaches, is it? Thank you. I didn't have the names at hand. Defender, your MVP?
I'd have to say Lusk already using her changeling abilities.
Oh, becoming Eliza too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that.
Oh, so good.
I like that. Viennin, your MVP for the day, please.
The hilarious stealing of pants.
You like the stealing of the pants.
I love the pants.
Good. Good, I'm glad.
Double 19 is pretty good.
Yeah, 28, of course, yeah.
Losk, your MVP of the day?
Wait, I feel like I misheard you when you went over it. Who can
It can
be?
be
Can it be?
any form of inanimate object, any action that's happened. It's basically the most valuable thing that happened, or thing of object, or pretty much anything from the campaign today that you felt was exciting or interesting, whether it's, you know, the action of the thieving of the pants, or whether it's a particular object, or any form of MVP.
I feel like I guess just like Rosalind joining the party, she's blending in really, really well with us.
Credit to Rosalind, or Mac, as she is known out of game, for those of you who are watching. And Warren, your MVP?
Gotta be Ocean's 11 Pants Edition.
Yep, fair enough. The three-man thievery. I liked it. And finally, I come to you, Rosalind Sachs.
It's gotta be the pants, man. We stole some pants. It was great.
Well, I liked the pants, but my MVP for the day was Losk's impersonation of Eliza. It is the first time I have ever had a party member become an NPC. That threw me, and then I didn't know which NPC to respond to when somebody addressed Eliza, and which one was me and which one was you, and I loved it. It completely threw me, and it was fantastic.
I was hoping to roleplay more as her, but I didn't get that chance.
He was not interested in role-playing with somebody playing his
No,
wife.
I meant more towards like the guards if they were to
yeah.
question her.
No, I think he was a little... he wanted you in and out as fast as possible. So, yeah, I mean, that leaves us to say goodbye, if you would, please. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for playing. We've had fun today. Group?
Yeah, thank you, DM.
Hi, thank
for
you so much.
DMing.